Hey everybody, and welcome back to the only podcast produced by 3 winners of IMSA's Spirit of the Race Award. You're listening to the Check Engine Podcast, streaming live through Anchor.fm or anywhere else meaningful, good, well-respected podcasts are streamed. We hope you are all enjoying your new Ford Transit Connects that we got you last week. My name is...
Forced you to have.
Yeah, that's right. My name is Nick. Along with me, as always, flanking me on either side, I've got Tristan on one side, I've got Andrew on the other. Let's start with Andrew. What's going on?
Nothing, man. I don't know when we're going to put this video up. We definitely will. We're actually recording for the first time video of this podcast.
So when it comes up, you'll see the Corvette flag behind us.
Yeah, there's a lot going on right now. This is kind of exciting. This is all new.
It's all new stuff. Well, all leading up to a very a special landmark episode coming up too.
Very such a big episode.
It's gonna be great. We have no idea what we're gonna do for it, but it's gonna be awesome.
We have plans.
Tristan, do you want to tease any of those plans? I haven't actually introduced you yet.
Hello. They're actually mostly to do with what I'm doing. All the engineering stuff. We have new technology and new content on the way.
Once we have it working, then we're going to do a super impressive live video so everyone can see our new setup. And that live video is definitely going to come out before this video. So.
This very partial video.
Yes,
we don't have enough memory card left.
Yeah, this video is going to cut out pretty quick.
So. It says about a half hour. Who knows?
We'll find out.
We will.
We'll find out. Well, we're not pros, but we're definitely trying to be. We're trying to get closer to it. So we appreciate you tuning in anyway to kind of grow with us, I guess. You know what, though? We don't want you just to listen. We want you to reach out. We want you to talk with us. We have a website. It is checkenginepodcast.com. We have an email there. It's inbox@checkenginepodcast.com. And we want to hear what you guys think of this and any other episodes. Give us ideas, what you like, what you don't. And also on that website, you can find links to our old episodes, links to our blogs, links to our socials. Anywhere that you want to go with CEP, you can go starting at checkenginepodcast.com.
Wish I had a mirror.
Why?
It's on my back.
Oh.
It is. They may be able to see it in their reflection.
Yeah.
But.
Oh, there's a message on the screen there.
Ooh.
We're running out of battery.
It's either that or memory. Doesn't matter. Keep going.
We're going to keep
forge ahead.
So, Andrew, what is on the agenda for this evening?
Man, how did we even come up with this topic? I've said on this podcast before that we've talked about car names before, certainly.
Yes.
And I've said that the Cutlass Supreme is the best car name ever. But we've also talked about, bad car names, stuff like that. So this episode is entirely dedicated to all of that. We're going to talk about the best car names, and we're going to talk about the worst car names. And my whole thing in the group chat was that I want deep cuts.
Not sandwich cuts.
I didn't want sandwich cuts. I wanted deep cuts.
Slices.
I couldn't think of anything that was the opposite of deep cuts. I know it's a music term, and the opposite is hits, but that's not funny. Sandwich cuts is funny.
Sandwich cuts was very off the cuff and funny.
It was.
Yes.
And we're also going to talk about, we got to spend some time talking about what makes a good car name.
There's got to be some kind of theme that we're going to come up with, I think.
I love these voyages of discovery that we all go on together.
I hope there is. I guess it's going to come out when we present what we think is good and why.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
If they're all way different, then we may
we
may not come up with anything.
It's us. They're always different.
So we'll see what happens there. But first, pace laps.
We got laps to pace.
We're going to talk about all those cool cars I snapped pictures of last weekend and sent you guys, right?
Yeah, that could be something that we could talk about that.
That could be something that we do eventually.
Yeah. Or we could talk about yesterday. There were 2 huge stories that broke on car Twitter, and the first of which affects you personally, Nick, and
deeply.
You're talking
Very
about
deeply.
deep cuts. I'm here with deep cuts,
and this cut is the deepest.
This cut is the deepest.
Everybody hurts.
After what 6 years of teasing
of speculation.
The Corvette C8 has finally been announced Is that the right word? Confirmed.
They confirmed its
its existence.
Its existence,
Yeah.
and the official rollout, the launch is July 18th.
Yeah, that maybe Corvette that we've been talking about seemingly forever is officially a mid-engine Corvette.
The Corvette LaFerrari.
Yeah.
Basically.
It is real. It is really the C8. That whole Cadillac thing was clearly some sort of stupid mislead.
Did anybody really buy it?
Or a last minute jink, you know?
I don't know. I feel like some people at least pretended to buy it.
They hoped.
Maybe that's it. Either way, it's real. It's final. And does this mean that like next year, the C8R will be on racetracks? Is that what's happening?
They already tested it last year after Road America.
Oh, dude, that's right.
They stayed at Road America Corvette Racing. There were some spy photos that came out the next week. So IMSA was off. Where did they go after Road Laguna Seca? Maybe no VIR.
VIR.
Yep.
They're off trekking to VIR, and Corvette said, "No, we're going to hang back for a couple days. We'll catch up with you." And
right.
they tested it at its first track appearance was at our home track.
So how do you feel? I mean, let's check in with you, Nick. Let's
Let's do a wellness check here.
So
Is he are you okay, Nick?
And how's your Ness?
My well is okay for now. I can't speak too much about my Ness just yet. It didn't come as a surprise.
How could it?
Like, because everyone knew really it was coming. Like, then even there was no official announcement. Like, you knew what it was.
Had to be.
So I brought my Corvette racing flag with me to record, as you will see on the video that's going to come out sometime later, to celebrate the countdown of my Corvette fandom. It's about 94 days left before I have to align with a new brand.
I feel like this is all fakery. I feel like you're not going to give it up.
Well, I'm not gonna look. I'm not gonna look. Even though I wasn't a fan of like the design of the C7, the fact that the layout is still how it's supposed to be for a Corvette. Like, I'm gonna root for the race team through the end of this year because
Specifically through the end of this year, but now one day.
really, but like, and I still obviously don't mind. Like, my dad has a C3, a '69 Stingray. I like a C5 a lot. But I'm out on anything from this day forward on Corvette.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
But why? Is it all down to just layout? Because the engine's like 3 feet south.
Depending on which way the car's facing.
Of course.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, it's not like things can't change layout like Indy cars.
What do you mean? Oh,
Like-
for
like-
him specifically.
Yeah, I mean, it's
But when they changed layout, it was also a new model. It wasn't
Oh,
an
come
an
on.
Offenhauser anymore. It was like something else that came in. Like, I have no problem with GM making a mid-engine sports car. Just don't call it a Corvette.
But they did. But
yeah,
they
so
did.
fuck
though.
them.
Okay, but I feel
That's
like
Corvette has built a brand for 60 years now. What, 53? So yeah, however long that was. I'm too mad to do math.
however long it was, as if they're
it's
dead.
already over.
They built an iconic, yes, I'm going to use that word, brand based around this type of car, a front-engined, rear-drive sports car. That's what a Corvette is.
No.
Just like that's what a Mustang is. Just like that's what an Aston Martin Vanquish is. Just like that's what an AMG is. Like, it's proven that it can be successful in this layout. So I don't understand the reasoning to change. Why change?
Well, I actually think that's really interesting. I was thinking about this as I was driving home today, and jokingly, a few months ago, we said that the Camaro came out. The ZL1.
ZL1
Yep.
Camaro.
ZL1 Camaro came out and was so good.
It was almost
that
like an accidental Corvette, almost.
And I think now we have to consider that idea as having some merit. I think the success of that car numerically and in terms of sales, I don't know how well it's sold, but I know that it's very desirable and extremely well reviewed.
Yes.
I think that the ZL1,
But so is the C7.
true, but I think the ZL1 gave Corvette the opportunity that I feel like we can say that someone in the Corvette division has been looking to do something like this for a while.
So you say like the ZL1 was kind of like the final straw, like the excuse where he can go into the boardroom, leader of the Corvette program, and say, see.
You have your, dopey front engine, rear drive, lopey V8.
Dopey.
Like
Dopey.
yeah. Like a
Most
big,
of your
like
beloved Audis and Volkswagens are front
like a
engine
big
too,
no
by the way.
like a big friendly dog.
But it's dopey and lopey.
Yeah, dopey lopey.
And ropey.
Yeah, but like front engine, rear drive, hasn't been updated since car, design.
Yes.
It's something that the front engine, rear drive is right from the beginning. As far as most car layouts, front engine, front wheel drive was way later, and the someone at Corvette said, "Hey, if we're going to keep being America's sports car, America's going to get left in the dust if we don't get on this mid-engine train, and we are the flag bearers for American sports cars. Let's let the Camaro be the inexpensive American muscle. You get a lot of performance for your dollar, et cetera, et cetera. Let's go take over the world."
And what if it's a question of, directly tagging onto that, what if it's a question of all of what you just said and also looking at what has been for about the past 10 years an increasingly crowded front-rear marketplace. I mean, BMW's had the 8 Series coming in gangbusters every year. Off the track, on the track. The Mustang has been getting hotter and hotter every iteration. The 350R, 350R,
CR.
350 CR,
Yeah.
has been anywhere between excellent and sensational on the racetrack. What if Corvette just looked at this and then now Heat from the Camaro with their own brand just kind of said, okay, have it. We're out. And they're going to, what if, I really don't think the Corvette's going to make that, $130,000 jump. It's not going to be in the 100s. I think we're going to see the C8 starting on lots at maybe 70, 75.
Yeah.
So 10 to 15K more. There are no cars in that market.
I think they're going to do the same thing that they did to
NSX?
110 or 115, I think, is the starting on
something like that.
Okay.
I think what you're going to see is that, what I hope you're going to see is Corvette doing to the mid-engine supercar what it did to the front-engined sports car.
Yeah.
Is just like, hey, why are you guys all so expensive? And just destroy them on the track.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what they're hoping for.
All right, fine. I mean,
We'll find out.
This is what has to happen. If he's giving it up, then I will become the Corvette fan.
Me too.
The
if
mid-engine
it's going to be
Corvette
that
fan.
great, yeah, hell yeah.
I will believe for you until you return, Nick. How's that sound?
You guys can have them.
You guys can have. It's not going to be that simple.
You guys can have them.
Once they stack up-
I am officially a free agent for a new mark to align with. Wow. And listeners,
Once they start stacking up those race wins, those championships.
listeners, pitch me why I should align with your brand, why I should be a fan of the brand you like.
All right. You are going to get bombarded by Porsche fans.
Bring it on. See what kind of pitch they can make.
But what about the engine in that car?
They're not changing it.
Yet.
They moved it forward.
They did. Oh, they did move
Used to
forward.
be a rear engine. Now it is a mid engine. So I can't like that one.
Okay.
What else
Whatever.
you got? I'll find a way they ruined whatever you want. Just go love Corvettes.
No.
We'll do it
Not
for
anymore.
you. We
Not anymore.
We'll do this for you.
I'm out. As of July 18th, I am out.
All right. Well, that's decided. I'm dead serious about that. I will now become a Corvette fan for the next race season and hopefully of the car in general.
Hey, the good news is you probably have a bunch of hats you can get for real cheap.
Flags, hats.
Yeah, hats,
Yeah, you
shirts.
want this?
Anything. You want this? Well, there was also another big story that broke last night as I was just about to drift on off to Dreamland.
Yeah, he texted me about it.
I opened Twitter and
Found
Twitter
that it had exploded.
was a flitter.
Is that a word?
I don't think so.
Might as well be.
It is now.
But what happened, and they genuinely did this last night at what would have been maybe like 10:30 Central?
Yeah,
something
super
like that. Super late. Tesla put out a brand new newsletter to announce that, you guys remember that $35,000 Model 3.
Yeah.
You can't buy that anymore.
No, it doesn't exist.
Well, yeah, and also no. So what this release says is that you will no longer be able to get the $35,000 Model 3 online. You will have to go to a Tesla store, which for those playing the home game, you remember they said they didn't need the stores.
Yeah, they said they're going to close them because they don't need them.
Yep, but they couldn't do that. That was illegal. And so now, if you want the $35,000 Model 3, which maybe existed and maybe didn't exist.
Is that the one that people are trying to get refunds on,
Yes.
but not getting refunds on?
I'm being completely serious when I say there is a genuine debate on car Twitter right now whether or not anyone has ever been able to purchase a $35,000 Model 3. It's unclear. No one's sure. So that's one part of it. Was the car real? Could you buy it?
And now that it's not real, unless you go to a Tesla store.
Right, and then you have to know like the secret handshake, and you have to. I think maybe it is. You have to walk in and you have to furtively ask the first person you see. I'm looking for Elon. You have to ask them that, and then just look right in their eyes. just don't say a word. Just
Don't blink.
and especially if they start asking you if you're okay, just that's all part of it.
Intensify.
It's all part of it. Nah, I mean,
And didn't that release also say either you have to go to a Tesla store or call them to order one?
Correct. Yes, you
Like
can
this
also
is
call
LL Bean in the
you
1990s.
can also call them. So what they're doing instead, by the way, I forgot to mention this. So what they're doing instead, they're getting rid of that $35,000 base, which maybe it was real, maybe it wasn't. No one's sure. And they were replacing it with a $37,000 similar build with autopilot included, and then from there, basically, it'll just be the $37,000 Model 3 with battery range options, same battery pack, but it'll just be electronically locked.
And that's all Teslas now too. You cannot buy them without autopilot.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's the entire line.
Autopilot was a $3,000 option. They're removing it from being a tickable box. It's automatically included, and all the cars go up by $2,000. So they're basically knocking $1,000 off of autopilot, but making you have it. So all the cars have to go up in value, or an MSRP $2,000.
Can I point something out at this point? Another part of this Tesla newsletter that came out last night was that in this newsletter they say that autopilot, fully autonomous capability, will be pushed over the air within the year. No, it won't. Let's be perfectly clear on that. It will not be pushed over the air by the end of the year. But an interesting thing to note is also that what this seems to mean to me is that every Tesla that maybe has ever been sold always had that autopilot capability built in.
Yes.
And they just this just seems to be like a reformulation of what they were already doing with an increase in price. You know what I mean?
Well, so that's,
Yeah.
it always
marketing
did. So they've had two items that have always been paywalls:
Yes.
batteries and autopilot. And this was not the case in the Model 3 until now it is. So
gotcha.
autopilot was always a $3,000 gate. You could pay for it and boop, they just turn it on for you. Because all the sensors and stuff are in the car. The Model 3 used to have two different battery packs, but they say to streamline production,
Yes.
they're only going to produce one battery pack, put it in all the cars, and then software limit it.
In fairness, that is actually not a bad idea.
Well, it is a bad idea, though, because the cars are going to cost them the same,
Correct.
and they should just sell them all for that price, the lower price. because then I think you'd sell more.
Yeah, but realistically, from a business perspective, all of these moves make sense. But what I will say is that, and it's hard to say this without just sounding like I'm shitting on a brand that I kind of like to laugh at,
Yes.
but incompetent leadership always shows. And when you go from, was that maybe 2 months ago, generous, let's say 2 months ago, they came out and said that they're going to shut down all stores because they don't need them.
Right.
To making the premier selling point of the entire brand, the $35,000 Model 3, a dealership only vehicle in less than 90 days easily.
I think it was only a month.
I'm trying to be a little generous here because I don't remember when. It felt like we had that conversation a while ago.
Because that was the live video on my couch, which was the first IndyCar race, which was like mid-March.
All right.
So yeah.
All right. So maybe about 30 days.
Yep.
Sorry, that directional change, it's either a disconnect or it's incompetence. And if it is a disconnect, then it's incompetence still.
Either way.
So I don't know what's going on. That's crazy.
Are we still? We're still out on Tesla, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm more out than ever. Why? Why does this keep? I just wanna like him. Okay, I will say I just wanna like him because it's gonna be way easier when I can ignore him.
So you just ignore things you like.
Yes. If I can accept
He's
them,
one of those Yelp people that only puts in bad reviews because good reviews are expected. So he doesn't say anything when he gets good service, and he will only yell when he gets bad service.
I have never yelped. Proudly. I've never yelped. Don't look at me like that.
All right.
All right. That's enough screwing around. Although I will say
It was just lots of big news.
2 huge items of news, both developing, and now I have a car to root for next year. So suck it.
Does that mean you're going to drop the Hyundai Allegiance?
No, different series.
Yeah, different series. I don't have to choose.
Why choose?
All right,
To
go
quote
for
my
it.
mother, why choose?
Let's
All
do
right,
this.
let's dive into this. So we are dedicating the rest of this episode to car names, good and bad.
I got such a good bad one. Oh man, I just saw it on my little list here.
You're making that noise a lot in this episode.
This is a good episode.
He's
for that
satisfied.
noise. I am. I'm very happy.
So how do we want to go about this? Is this going to be one of those where we each do one and go around the room and laugh at one another, or do we go?
I think how about we
three?
each do 3 bad, then we all do 3 good.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, keep it rolling.
Who's kicking off? Who's kicking off this one?
Should we start with the bad?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll start with the bad.
All right, we'll start with the bad. I will put one on the table. Oh wait, actually, I do have a question. In this exercise, I kind of went back and forth. Are we considering the manufacturer's name, like the whole thing, or just the name of the model? So for example, Toyota Camry or just Camry?
I mostly just considered the model name and
Same with me.
wrote down the manufacturer name so we know what it is.
That's kind of what I did too.
And I also excluded strictly non-English speaking country models because those are often translated and things get weird and so I
didn't do that.
I have included
I did not do
I have
that.
included those as my honorable mention runner-ups. Like I want to talk about them because they're hilarious, but I didn't judge them based on that because they're not marketing to me. It might make total sense in Japanese or
That's fair.
whatever else. So
Well, in the spirit of that, I'm going to ignore what you just said.
yeah, but
Right.
I'm saying what I did.
I'm going to make
So,
my first nomination, the VW Gall.
Yes.
No, I didn't stroke out there. It's not the Golf. It's the Gall.
Where is it sold? Give us a little more info.
The Gall is sold in Asia, and it's also. I just closed this stupid thing. It's a co-branded model. I think it's some breed of polo. Tristan, does that sound right to you?
Probably. Yes.
Yeah, I just thought that one really stuck out to me. It's a Brazilian version by Volkswagen Brazil of the entry level. So the Polo.
It's the Brazilian Polo. Now, does Gall mean anything in Portuguese? Like, what? Why do we know where the name came from?
I don't.
Can we get a
actually
spelling?
know. GOL.
So like golf without the F.
Yes, the F has fallen off.
So, like, if you're drunk and trying to tell someone you're going to play golf, like,
I'm
I'm
gonna
going
play
to play golf.
I just it doesn't say anything about what the name means. It just I saw it on a list of VW cars, you know, and no matter what, I just kept coming back to that.
It literally
because-
means goal
oh,
in Portuguese.
Goal!
Yeah.
All right,
that
soccer.
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. Still, it's funny.
It's funny sounding.
Well, mainly because they have a Golf.
Yeah.
It looks like there was an assembly error and not an actual rename.
Someone just forgot the F
Yeah,
on
exactly.
the badge. They ran out of Fs.
Yeah.
You could get the Nuevo Gol right now, 2019.
Do you have to order it like a soccer announcer when you go into the dealership, do you
You
think?
probably do. I would imagine that's
I'd like to
legally
test drive a
mandated.
goal!
That's definitely my first one. I mean, it's probably not that bad overall, especially, because now, soccer.
Mostly funny.
Yeah, it's just, it made me laugh too much not to add it to the list.
What's your next one? What's your next one of your 3?
This one makes me laugh a lot. It is the legendary Holden Jackaroo.
Yeah. That one was almost on my list. Because that one, English speaking country,
Yeah.
guys. Come on, Australia. That one was safely on my
Jackaroo's got to
list.
be some sort of slang in Australia. Like,
Still, though,
I have no idea.
considerations, please. So what is it
It is a
exactly?
rebadged Isuzu Trooper. Oh, here's the disambiguation page for the word Jackaroo.
Oh, boy.
Jackaroo trainee in Australian agricultural trainee.
so like an apprentice almost.
That's an optimistic view.
Well, it's either that or a nickname for Buddy Williams, the country musician.
Yeah, but it's a young man working on a sheep or cattle station to gain experience.
Also,
so like
see
an-
also.
Like a rancher
Yeah.
apprentice kind of.
Oh, wait, see also Jillaroo.
Which is a female,
a female
version
version
of
of
the same
that?
thing, I'm assuming.
Yeah, clearly it was clearly the cattle hand thing. Rebadged Isuzu Trooper. It just made me laugh. Jackaroo made me laugh.
Because you can hear it in Australian accent, too.
jackaroo.
A jackaroo.
My
Right.
appalling Australian.
Yeah, mine's awful.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at accents, but not that one.
He's good at accents, folks.
What's so? Are you going 3, 2, 1, or like are you building up? Or
I
is this
didn't even rank them.
didn't
Although
rank 'em?
this one is very near and dear to my heart. This one just really hit me in a special spot because I never thought that I wanted this.
But you do, don't you?
This one comes all the way out the far side of bad to so bad it's actually really good.
Okay.
The Mitsubishi lettuce.
Spoiler alert. That's actually
This is 100% real.
This is on my honorable mention list. Actually,
Is it?
Yes,
Oh,
I saw
God.
this one.
Oh man, did I have to do that?
It's a K
one.
car.
It is.
Most of them are.
It is
All
a-
the weird ones I found.
It
It's
is
also
a
called the
K-car.
Minica.
Correct.
Minica.
The only difference is that the lettuce was available at your local grocery store. You could go to your grocery store and
I'm
buy
going
this
to
car.
go pick up some lettuce. And I came back with 2 K
home
cars.
with a car. I mean, how great is that?
That's pretty good.
It's terrible, but it's
But
great.
co-marketing with the grocery store, that's fantastic.
That's genius.
Yeah. I love that.
The co-branding and the making it available at grocery stores is brilliant. But like you can pick any food and do that. Like let's name it after a bland, tasteless plant that's buried in the ground.
Yet crispy.
So even if you have to
Not
stick,
always.
even if you have to stick with things that are at the greengrocer and not the rest of your grocery store, I mean, you could
Apple.
turnip.
Hardy, down to earth plants.
Exactly.
The pepper.
Yeah.
Pepper's not bad. The banana. Mitsubishi banana.
That's a lot of word salad. man.
Mitsubishi banana.
Yeah, so genuinely, the Mitsubishi lettuce, a special edition of the Minica, sold at the CU supermarket chain. I mean, that's
pretty good.
Got to be my number
I like that.
one.
That's good.
If you work at that supermarket chain, do you have to have like some sort of special promotion to sell the cars?
I honestly
Or like
have no
in
idea.
like on Tuesday I work in the
No, they-
deli, and
no,
on
they-
Wednesday I'm selling.
No, they
think
gave
you
the
grab
car
the tag.
No, they gave the car dealership guys a demotion.
No, I think you just grabbed the tag, brought it up to the register, boop, they scanned it, and then they just called, like the packing people at the back, and they brought you your car.
They wheeled it out.
I wonder how many
on a
people
dolly.
bought one.
I know. And I don't.
We
think
got
it
to
was-
find sales figures on the
Right?
lettuce.
I don't think it was
And
only
not the
available in
produce.
green.
We need to
but-
find sales figures
That would
on
be
the
great
car
though.
and the
Or
lettuce.
because it could be like lettuce comes in other colors, right?
red.
Yeah.
Could have been green or red.
Yeah.
The picture of it I saw was white.
Yeah.
Which iceberg?
Oh, God.
The paint color is iceberg.
Like green banding.
Yeah, it's
fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
If it was white with green like racing stripes on it.
Iceberg lettuce.
Man.
The Mitsubishi iceberg lettuce.
edition.
Oh, that would have been so great. Lettuce. I love it. And it is on my bad list, but I do genuinely have affection for it because it is so bad.
I'm going to request to go last because I want to bounce this back and forth, where I want to have like go down our bad list and then head back up the other direction on our good list.
Sure.
Because I have two that I can't decide if they're good or bad, if they're perfect or bad.
So as always,
great.
Tristan comes up with a great transition.
Always.
So I'm going to have Nick go next.
All right, and I actually did rank these, so I'm gonna go Letterman style and go up 2-1.
Ascending order.
Right. So my number 3 on my list of bad, and this made me actually, when I looked up the origin of this name and like how Volkswagen came up with this or how they got it, it made me second guess ever putting the decision of me buying my car up to the people. Because this is an example of what happens when you leave something of importance to the general public.
Let's hear it.
The smaller SUV in Volkswagen's line, the German auto magazine, Auto Bild, partnered with Volkswagen and did a naming contest for this for the public.
Kari McCarface.
Never trust the
No.
internet.
The winner was the Tiguan,
Oh, come on.
which is a combination of tiger and iguana.
Why iguana? Is that true? Is that
Yes.
really true?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
I thought it was just a funny sounding word.
No. They took the front of tiger or I don't know how you pronounce it in German, but it's
Probably
Tiger, whatever,
Yeah,
and
tiger.
then the back half of iguana and cut off the A and made Tiguan. Just no point, no purpose.
No purpose.
What are two animals? Let's mix them together.
Okay, sure. You can talk about the genesis of the word.
Here he is defending Volkswagen.
But there are other things out there that also there's no meaning to them.
Right. And they're on my bad list.
I'm going to text Andrew one that I bet isn't on your list, and we'll see if it is.
All right.
Or if I would put it on, we can only pick 3.
Yeah.
So just because it's not on my list doesn't mean I'm not going to hate it when you say it. All right, number 2, we're going to go to Hyundai. This was their premium flagship sedan until Genesis really took off.
I know what it is.
Yes.
So this is the Azera.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
That's not what I thought you were going to
No,
say.
I thought he was going to say the Equus.
I thought he was going to say the horse. The Hyundai horse.
No, this is the Hyundai Azera. Do you know what Azera is?
I assumed it was
Not
a color.
a Spanish word.
I thought it was
It's
a
actually
color.
Italian. It's the Italian term for an Azerbaijani woman.
What?
That might be one of those things that is a coincidence.
Seems...
Like the fact that,
Hello, I'd like to buy my Azerbaijani woman.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that the Chevy Nova is no go in Spanish, I think that's a coincidence. I don't think that they chose that necessarily.
That's the only thing I could find on Azera.
Yeah,
That is the only thing I could find on Azera.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would definitely be really, really bad if, that's bad for a different reason. That's ethically objectionable is what that is.
Yes.
So that's my number 2. And my number 1 is actually it's really the entire model line. The Infiniti Q whatever.
Yes. Yes, I'm so glad someone said it. Yes.
Where did they get Q from? Where did they get Q from? Why that letter?
It's all Johan.
Because this was they came out with the Q before Hyundai came out with anything i30, i this. They could have grabbed I first if they wanted before.
Well, BMW, though.
Did the Q line come out before i8?
Yeah, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes.
I'm not sure, but I feel like they could have picked any better letter besides Q. And then the numeric system has like it's not like it has to do with displacement or horsepower or anything. They're just
It doesn't do anything.
it doesn't. It's just random shit.
Terrible.
Q and a number. That's what we'll call it. And if it's an SUV, we'll just put an X there.
X for all-wheel drive. Don't
Yeah.
you know?
Like it just awful.
Totally agree.
I don't know
I'm so glad
who
someone brought it
I don't
up.
know who signed off on that, but all of Infinity's and the cars themselves actually some of them don't look too bad.
No.
Like they're just decent cars, but they just give them a better freaking name, guys.
I wish.
Holy cats. Awful. Tristan, either you're up or we're waiting on a rebuttal or what's going on?
I have a question.
For
you.
Okay.
If we're talking about made up names,
Sure.
how did you miss the Camaro?
Yeah.
It's a made up name. It actually doesn't even have any tie to animals or anything. They literally just said, that sounds neat.
Yeah.
The Tiguan doesn't sound bad
Yeah, it sounds pretty shitty.
because you picked it. I like that name.
I'm sorry, but I
think
don't.
I think it's fine. I don't think it's.
Yeah.
You know what? I actually think it's the same as Camaro. They both sound aight.
Like I said, I
Yeah.
only had 3 spots. So
I
no,
know.
I don't like the Camaro name either. So just like you said, there's no purpose. I looked up the Camaro and it said something about how it's a term for like a buddy or a friend or
Yeah,
something. Like,
that's what Chevy came up with after like a year and a half. People asking them what it meant.
and they
Right,
actually meant compadre.
yeah.
It's a friend. Spanish.
No, the funny part is
No, I'm not saying that I like that name at all.
The definition that they did eventually jokingly come up with was a small ferocious animal that eats Mustangs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
What? But Mustangs are actually pretty big. The animal.
I was saying, but it's like the Camaros are pretty big too.
It's
but
just a
like,
shot across the bow.
I
yeah.
know what
It's
it
funny.
is. I'm
So-
just trying to picture a.
It's like a Twitter
small-
war before Twitter wars happened.
But I instantly pictured a very small ground-based animal attempting to eat a full-size horse.
Well, me too, but still. No,
Honey
Rip it
Badger.
up and eat it one leg at a time.
I just
Honey
don't.
Badger could do it.
Yeah, I just like my only rebuttal is I don't know that being made up should have any bearing on how bad the name is.
Well, see, I
Because
think
there's-
that's what comes down to like our opinion of what makes a
Right,
good
and
and
that's
bad
that's
name.
why
So-
that's why it's a debate. You can have your opinion. I'm just saying I don't know that that's something that I would have ever considered because things get names made up all the time. Like some of them are pretty neat, but so
Anyways,
anyway, I have my my list of 2 bad ones, and then 2 more that are either perfect or terrible, and then I'll move right on to the good ones.
all right, let's do it.
So I'm going to start with the AMC Gremlin.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that.
and also the car was garbage.
The car was garbage, and you literally named it after a problem. Gremlins from Gremlins from the very beginning were the little made up things that made airplanes crash, and they're mischievous spirits that caused mechanical problems.
I took Andrew's deep cut comment to heart, and I didn't choose Gremlin because of that. I thought that was like too much of a low hanging
Pretty
fruit.
surface level. Did you OED the word gremlin though?
Yeah,
See, that's the kind of
that's
work
why.
that makes it cut
Like,
deep.
and it's
Gremlin is a problem. It's something that
it's
you
the
want to
meaning
avoid.
of the word.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so it's not like, the Toyota, like you mentioned in the chat, it's like, Toyota Camry because we don't like the Camry. It's like, no, it's
Right.
actual looking into the word itself and why that word is a bad choice.
So it was like problem or small demon
yeah,
probably before.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And it's like, why would you name your car after that? Like,
And the car would and have it
it's
be
the
terrible.
AMC prone to failure. Like, it's like, why would you name it that way?
The AMC avoid this at all costs.
Like, I mean,
And-
I even picked, like, I went over some names that are frankly atrocious considering the car they were put on, because I tried to take what they were put on out of it. It's like, if it were put on the appropriate car, would it be great? Sure. You know, like for example, the Aspire. It was put on a garbage car. And it was ironically awful because this car aspired to be a car.
Indeed.
And so that's funny, but if you were to slap that on something that
That's
actually
like something
deserved
a
a name,
7-year-old would name who aspired to drive at some point in their life.
Exactly.
It's like, but if you put that on something that was actually a halfway decent car, it might make some sense. So I left out things like that. But the gremlin, fairly obvious, but I think the meaning of the word is the most interesting part.
It's too
like,
perfect.
why would you? It's like, yeah, I don't understand. My next one's a little more out there.
We would expect nothing less from you.
It's not a deep cut as far as cars available, but I think it's something that really bothers me. I think we've discussed it before on the podcast. It's the Nissan Armada.
Okay, hold on now. Let's hear it. Let's hear it first.
It's a name that is designed to attach to a group of things.
So you one of those like Miami Heat drives you insane?
No.
Non-count nouns?
No. I mean, the problem is it's too many counts.
Armada is actually multiple things.
Well, yeah.
Like it is a Spanish fleet, not just a Spanish ship.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, so it's like we made an SUV so large and ungainly and impossible to turn that we needed to name it not after one ship, but after many ships.
see, that's
Think
why-
about how
Or are the people in it the Armada? You can fit so many people in it.
It's probably that. However, pulling up next to one of those, I mean, and seeing, like, I feel like that's almost too appropriate for the size of the car because it doesn't look the size of a Suburban, but it is. I mean, no,
Yeah,
really.
no,
the,
yeah.
the car's enormous.
I know, but I don't like it being named for a group of things. It would be like a small fun car named the Flock. Like
That's not a bad idea.
it is a horrible idea. That implies a Huey helicopter-esque,
It does.
like
That's cute.
like parts flying in unison
Wow.
but not really assembled.
You don't think that's cute?
I don't. I think it's also dumb. I would also hate that. That would also be on my list if it were real.
Fine.
You've got your choice. The Ford Flock, or couldn't do it, or the Ford Fiesta.
It's actually not a flock of crows. If you name it after the crows, it'd be a murder.
Murder.
A Ford murder. that comes later. Don't worry.
All right, so what are your two that you're on
those
the
are my
fence
two.
about?
I
On the fence about?
They are Andrew-esque in have they gone all the way around to being good? But almost actually, not even ironically, are they just so much that they're actually good? So the first one is the Ford Country Squire.
What?
Never even heard of
Never
it.
heard
That is their wood paneled station wagon.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah,
In what country? This one?
this one.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
yeah, Ford Country Squire.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
Huh.
Yeah, and it's like in the traditional sense of the term, like the British call them estate cars.
Right.
Like, so they were called the Ford Country Squire. And they were station wagons, wood paneled sides. And it's like, is this the perfect name or a horrible name?
I think that's great.
Right? So it's like, I couldn't tell. It seemed like an atrocious thing to name something. It's like, this is my country squire. Like, it seemed like
That's why it's great.
Yeah, but it's great because it's so far around. That's my contention.
Because you're road tripping throughout the country.
What do you think, Nick?
I think it makes sense. I actually
I
kind of
think
like
it's
it.
great.
So that was
I think it's a good one.
that's why I'm asking, is because I don't know. There's two of these. So this is the end of my bad cars and the beginning of my good ones.
End of side one.
It's
Turn over for
right?
side two.
It seems like I happen to have given you the best one first.
Good one first.
Okay.
So the other one is the Studebaker Dictator.
Oh, God.
Absolutely not.
Bigger penis potato?
Yeah, the Dictator. Now Studebaker. Wow, he's never heard that one before.
Tristan says that to me all the time. Anytime the subject of dictators comes up,
Potatoes.
it's always his response.
Nope. That's the first. How come you never told me this shit?
I think he told me it first.
That does not seem...
Yeah, it's absolutely something you would do. But okay, so Studebaker says they called it this because
Because you could easily kill dissonance in the back.
no, because they were using the original version of the word where it's like one who sets a standard, one who says it must be done this way.
That's the same word, Studebaker.
It is,
definition.
but it wasn't meant as a leader for a long time.
Okay.
So
Studebaker's around in the 20s. I think they knew what they were doing.
I don't know.
Do you tell me they didn't have dictators post World War I? Is that what you're telling me?
Not necessarily.
Come on.
What?
Come
I
They
did
knew
not
what they were
OED this one as far as when it became changed to a leadership. But like I said,
They knew
so
what they were doing.
all I'm saying is that's what they said they were doing. But I don't believe them, and here's why. The models above it were
The Commandante.
almost
Ooh.
the commander
Okay.
and the president.
Nope. They lied.
They lied. So that one's bad, right?
So bad.
Yeah. So I had to check myself because I'm like, is it too perfect or is it bad?
Super bad.
Yeah. I thought this one was bad. I thought they were both bad, but we came around on Country Squire.
I think you have to,
Yeah.
especially once you call that image to mind of a wood paneled station wagon.
You imagine the man in the station wagon driving with a bunch of other people chasing him with horses, and they're all hunting foxes.
What? No.
No.
No one but me?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
I just picture him going to the grocery store, man. It's like,
That's fine. That's
hunting
fine.
foxes.
So, flipping this train around,
To the good side.
I'm going to start with, in no particular order, the Holden Commodore.
You and these dictator names. Last week really changed you.
Yeah. No, I think it's a.
What color is your Transit Connect?
red?
Yes.
Oh boy.
That one is strictly. I've known that name for a long time. Like it comes up often in discussion of those cars, and it's very popular Australian supercar. A lot of them run Commodores. So I see the name a lot of them. It's a very cool band name, also the Commodores.
Okay.
And
an old gaming system.
Yeah,
Commodore
64 indeed. Yep. So there's a lot of fun, interesting connotations to Commodore. Plus, it has irresistible to me naval connotations.
That's what it is.
Yep.
Okay.
So I think it's cool. I think it's
don't like
much
Armada.
better. It's much better than Dictator.
So a Commodore is a naval. Is a ship captain, right?
Commander of ships.
Commander of not an armada, because that would be an admiral. However, usually once little pieces of a fleet or an armada break off and do their own thing for a while.
Yeah.
A Commodore gets put in temporary command of that little chunk of the fleet.
Maybe like 3 ships.
Yeah.
So it's the Holden temporary leader.
Yeah. Yep.
Not as big a leader, but
Yeah.
still pretty big leader.
Just kind of like an
Designate.
assistant middle management.
Yes. Yes. Assistant to
The manager.
Privateers.
letter of marque. All these naval words. So that's my first one.
Okay.
And it comes with, honestly, a pretty cool car, all in all.
The car itself is cool.
So the next one is the Stutz Bearcat.
The who?
Stutz.
See,
You just wanted to say Stutz in front of a microphone. That's
tell
all
me
this
about
was.
Stutz.
So
Who's this guy?
Stutz, American car manufacturer.
Leonard Stutz, right?
Probably. I didn't look that far.
And his brother was.
Also
Seymour
Leonard.
Stutz. I'm full of false information, people. Don't listen to me. The main thing is that it was a fantastic name. I love Bearcat.
Sure.
And the car itself was pretty neat, which helped.
Tell me, I've never heard of the car. Tell me about the car.
I've never heard of Stutz at all.
So very early, kind of 19 teens.
Whoa.
But they had, I forget, it was the White Knights or something, were their racing team.
Oh, whoa.
And the only differences between that car that they sold to people and the car that they raced was that it was missing, the race car was missing the trunk. Something else was lightened, like the fenders were lightened. It was missing a trunk, and the gear ratio was different.
Wow.
The suspension, the seats,
So you could drive a
the
race car
engine.
as a-
Yeah,
as
it was
a
like
common
buy a
citizen.
race car.
And just take the hood off.
Yeah, it was kind, it was kind of like one of the very first Porsche GT3s. It's like just go to the manufacturer and say, I want to buy this race car.
Sure.
More or less. So it was very neat. And it actually features a Wisconsin engine manufacturing straight 4 or straight 6.
Straight 4. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
It's a unique engine.
a little bit of a local tie-in, pretty neat. So I tried to keep the underlying cars out of it. These are just some fun facts about it.
Right.
I just like the name Bearcat. I think it sounds ferocious.
It's a bear and a cat at the same time.
Exactly. So, but as a neat fact, there were a lot of interesting things about this. I never heard of it. I was just looking through names. I was like, "What is that?" I like Bearcats. I don't even know what Bearcats
like
are.
those.
I mostly just like bears. But it was like,
He
hey,
saw the word bear,
But with the
and he saw
utility
the
of a
word
cat.
Stutz.
exactly. Yeah. So I was like, "What are these?" And
He
turns
saw
out
Stutz bear and was sold.
Turns out they're pretty cool.
Yeah, that
Nice.
is cool.
So my final positive for sure is the very difficult to say, I'm fearing saying this on record, Rolls-Royce Wraith.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Was that, well, a quick question about that. Was that the first in the lineage of Rolls-Royce naming all their shit after things that are spooky?
No, Phantom.
Phantom was first.
Phantom was first.
Yeah.
Then Wraith, then Ghost. Way later, Ghost.
The Wraith is new.
Okay.
So it's Phantom, Ghost.
Right. I don't even know the order, but I like it because that it's their 2-door coupe. The Wraith is the one that's meant to actually be driven by you, not your chauffeur.
Gotcha. Of course.
And it looks mean in all black,
They all kind of do.
but
But what does that have to do with the name?
I like it because it was meant to be their like 2-door, sports car, if you can call a ship a sports car.
Right.
But it stuck with the Phantom, Ghost, even the cloud-like ones, the silver cloud.
Dawn.
Yeah, the Dawn. It's this kind of light.
Erythral.
Yeah.
type.
Shadow.
Don't call it that.
Ethereal.
Ethereal. That's awfully
Whoops.
awfully close to something else. Not quite it, but let's stay away from that one.
Not pros.
And it's Friday. Woo!
But sticks with the ethereal, comfort, wafty, image of Rolls-Royce, but it's a little scary. Like-
Rose.
He said it.
Fine, I'll say it.
He said it. He said it.
I was bursting.
So no, but it has like that kind of ethereal Rolls-Royce naming convention, but it's meant to be kind of the angry one driven by you,
Sure.
and it's the Wraith versus the Phantom. Okay, a little scary, but like you feel like Wraiths are out to get you.
Definitely. I mean,
So-
Revenant is obviously the maximum level.
Right. That's going to be their next SUV.
That's when the ghost
Rolls-Royce
is actually
Revenant.
murdering you. Yeah.
And that's actually when the ghost is actually partially still its dead body. How metal.
That's true,
yeah,
actually.
right?
Yeah.
I like the fact that it kind of sticks with the nomenclature.
Yes.
When I get to mine, I'm going to have some logic behind that as well. The one downside is the fact that just saying it is a tongue twister. Like it's like this try to say this 5 times fast type joke.
I finally got good at it.
Rolls-Royce Wraith, like
Yeah.
you could get tied up with that pretty easily.
You could, but it
But
looks
you would
great.
just call it the Wraith.
Right, it looks great on a nameplate.
Definitely.
Oh, totally.
Definitely looks good.
Totally.
So those are my positives.
Got it.
Nice.
Are we just running it back?
Yeah,
I'll go again
go
in the
ahead.
middle. All right. So starting with, again, I'll do the ascending order count up. My number 3 is the Aston Martin Valkyrie.
Which one is that? Was that
That's their hypercar.
Yeah. All right.
Their their turbo hybrid hypercar designed by Adrian Newey from Red Bull, and a few reasons why. So, one, to kind of go along with the nomenclature theme that Tristan just brought up, great transition, as always. It keeps with the V nomenclature of Aston Martin. So you have the
Right.
Vantage, you have the Vanquish, you have the Valkyrie,
And the DB11
And the Vulcan.
and the Vulcan.
and the DB9.
Whatever, dude.
But that has its own nomenclature.
That is true.
DB9, DB11,
To be completely fair,
DBS.
that's gone back since just a DB.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, excuse me. A Valkyrie, for those who don't know, is from Norse mythology. It's a goddess that chooses who survives battles. So literally this car is like, the name is like chosen by the gods. So like how exclusive is that? And when they're only making slightly over 100 of them for $3.2 million a piece, with 1,130 horsepower and a 250 mile an hour top speed, I think that name fits pretty well.
Counterpoint.
Ooh.
Considering those numbers, you know what else the Valkyries do?
They chose who died.
They carry the dead off the battlefield, which is what you will be if you drive that car.
Irresponsibly.
Yes, but I guess not a counterpoint. Addition, because it's still
addition.
appropriate.
It's still appropriate.
In a different
and also,
way.
in like Viking lore, that was also a great honor if a Valkyrie would lead you to Valhalla.
Dying in battle.
Right.
It's the only way.
Take it onto a racetrack and die.
In
It's the
battle.
It's the only way you get to go to
Die
Valhalla.
doing what you love, right?
Yeah.
Backwards and on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until Ragnarok.
So that's my number 3. Aston Martin Valkyrie. Number 2, as far as prestige, is probably almost the exact opposite. But, and let me explain myself with the name. Andrew, you're probably going to get mad because you think this is a sandwich cut. Honda Civic.
Ugh, I knew someone was going to say it.
The Civic. So the Civic, quick definition, relating to a citizen, city, or civil affairs. Launched in 1972, which was like the year that motorization and mobilization in Japan expanded greatly. So Honda set out to like mobilize the country with a car, quote, for the people. Now the Civic is one of the best-selling cars in the world, sold in 160 countries. It is one of those cars for the people. I think the name fits perfectly. It's not a flashy car, it's an everyday driver, but I think the name fits perfectly. So I like Civic.
I don't know about other countries, but the funny part is, considering the name, it's not a common government fleet purchase.
It's really not.
No,
It's not a civic vehicle.
No, the government buys SUVs and stuff like that.
It's weird because they are
Tauruses.
notoriously reliable, the Civic, and they last forever, and they're
You'd think, hey,
Cheap, but
local
with
government,
quality.
we have some ideas for you.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Stop buying Jeeps. My God.
Explorers.
Do you not think that's just a tad bit boring? Just a bit ordinary?
But it serves the purpose perfectly, though.
True. That's definitely true.
It fits exactly what they were trying to do. Like, what
That
are we?
would be like-
What
that
is
would
the
be like-
objective of this car? What are we trying to do with this car? Let's come up with a name that embodies that. I think they nailed it.
I guess that would be like
That's-
if we were running.
Yes,
doing-
it is boring. The car itself, in the grand scheme, it's not a bad car, but in the grand scheme of things, the car is it's a car. But
That would be like if we were doing a rundown of best shoes ever and someone said Wellington boot. Like, it's not exciting, but it is honestly, legitimately a fantastic piece of shoe innovation.
I was just checking to see if it's known anywhere as anything else. And
I don't think.
well, in Japanese it's the shibiku, which I would imagine
is the direct
is-
translation to like civil or civic.
I would think so. It's probably what would that be? Not a loan word, but a
Cognate.
cognate. That's what they tend to do
Yes.
in Japanese and several other languages with words like that. They'll just make them sound
Yes.
as if they're organic to the language.
So that's my number 2. Number 1 might surprise you guys a little bit. My choice is Dodge Ram. Oh, man. You're so disappointed.
But, well, I guess we can count the old version because now it's, like Ram is the brand, right?
And I'm getting to that.
Oh,
so,
gotcha.
like, when you think of Ram the animal, right? The animal itself, it's strong, it's tough, it's not something you want to mess with. It makes its living. It is at its best in rugged terrain.
Crashing into other Rams.
Much like the Valkyrie point, not incorrect.
Prove me wrong.
Yeah, not incorrect. Kind of a side note to what we're doing, but not incorrect. But when you think of what a ram is, or where it's known to be, what people think of when they think of the animal, and like how they were trying to market the truck, being rugged, being able to tackle different terrains, all those types of things. Again, it fits perfectly, and it's been so successful that now it is its own brand. It's not a Dodge Ram; they're just Ram trucks. It's grown into that name.
I wonder, because when you think about it that way, if I were the Mopar executive that decided we were going to name the truck that. I wonder if I wouldn't have had second thoughts to move that to like
Jeep.
an SUV, because what Rams are not notoriously the animal are beasts of burden. They're not a pickup truck of animals. They don't carry a bunch of stuff.
But an SUV can still carry stuff.
It can, but think about the Wrangler. Notoriously,
The Dodge Donkey.
mule,
Burro.
burrito for the small one. But like when you think about the Wrangler, like its emphasis, especially before it became a pickup truck, was not carrying stuff. It was how nimble and agile and short wheelbase, relatively narrow for its size, could go anywhere like a mountain goat or a ram. That would have made better sense than the Wrangler.
I guess.
If you're going from like where it was just called the Jeep CJ and you put a name on it, called the Wrangler, that would have been Ram. I would have switched the two.
No one's buying the Jeep Goat,
But no one was going to buy the Dodge Goat either. They did buy the Dodge Ram, the Jeep Ram, and
they
the
bought
Dodge
a lot
Wrangler.
of Rams to a point where now it's its own brand.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So
I think it's
just a hypothetical. It's
right,
not. It's not saying that your name is wrong because it could have been applied to
I
anything.
may approach this from like a different logic than you guys because I'm actually, for my place of employment, I work in the brand
marketing
department
guy.
that names things. I've been doing a naming exercise for something for the last month and a half, trying to come up
Pick
with
the wrong time to do this.
perfect name.
That's why he's going. That's why these are all,
So, and it's just my mindset, how we name things as a company or how we try to name things as a company. So, like, what are you trying to market to the people? What are you trying to promise to the people? Could it actually go up the side of a mountain? No. Like, everybody knows that. But what the image they were trying to portray, Ram fits that perfectly.
All right.
Andrew, your 3 good ones. Good ones.
My first one, man, I got to say that one for last. That one's too good. A name that I actually found myself really liking because of how it flows, weirdly, the Ford Starliner. I mean,
That's a good
super
one.
aspirational, of course. But I don't know, something about Ford Starliner, like, it seems like it goes together well. It was the fastback Ford Galaxy. So like,
Oh, okay.
Galaxy Starliner, like,
It makes it almost sound like a limousine, though. The
yeah,
name.
it does, and it very much wasn't. But I mean, it was a large car, but I think it was.
You know what it makes it sound like?
I think it was a
it's a
2+2.
cruise ship.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I
The
suppose that's,
Norwegian Cruise Line
I
Starliner.
assumed that's what they were trying to evoke. Like gliding the road kind of thing.
Like a cruise ship glides across the sea before it sinks
Yeah, exactly.
and capsizes.
That's kind of what I thought. Maybe it's a little simple, but
It rolls off the tongue well. I'll give it that. But yeah, I don't think the name has to do with the car.
not necessarily. It's
at all.
aspirational.
Yeah.
And it sounds magnificent. Like I'm just picturing like if they brought that back on a car like the size of the Genesis G90, Ford Starliner.
Genesis
Oh, totally.
Starliner.
If they want to attack that luxury,
Just like a
large
huge
sedan market.
car. Ooh.
Yeah,
Like-
but Ford's
like
not making
the-
cars, so yeah, why are we wasting time?
Like the Maybach S classes.
Yes.
Yes.
Just massive.
Yep.
That'd be cool.
Reminds me a lot of one that almost made my list, the Oldsmobile Futuramic.
The what?
Like Futurama, but
it sounds
instead
like a
of the A
weird
on the
kitchen
end, it's-
appliance as seen on TV.
Yeah,
It sounds like
Futuramic.
It sounds like a main brand mix of Kevlar and ceramic.
Futuramic.
DuPont, Futuramic.
Yeah. Yeah, but the crazy names.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of that one. Let's see. What do I want to do for my next one? I think I'll just go with this one. This is another car from Australia, just called Shrike. Not a brand, just Shrike.
Shrike. It's a good one.
It's a race car.
Birds are good.
Birds are quite good.
Yeah.
But it is literally just a race car developed by students of the Croydon Park Institute. They designed this car around a Buick-sourced Holden V6 engine, and they raced it for real in the Australian Drivers' Championship, and they won immediately
Really?
with this car that they just designed.
Can I see it?
Yeah. Wow. It's like a almost like a F1 or Indy car. Like a
Dude.
cockpit, just Shrike. That's it. It's a dope name.
That is a dope name.
That's sweet.
Isn't that the bird that like stabs its prey on
I
barbed wire
believe
fences?
it is. Yes.
Yeah. Horrifying.
So it's gruesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
But awesome.
Totally.
Yeah. Like Shrike, Falcon, Thunderbird, Firebird. Birds are good.
Birds are generally
I
pretty
left a lot of those off because a lot of those aren't deep cuts, but
That's true. A lot
Those are
of those are
good.
kind of regular. Birds are good. Last one, real quick here.
so you said this is the real good one.
This
you
is
said
the one.
This is the
Better,
one that
better blow me away.
This is the one that really hit me. Like I'd never heard of it before, and it's actually another Mitsubishi, if you can believe it.
Okay.
But coming out on the positive side this time, it's the Mitsubishi Sigma Scorpion.
Yeah. That sounds like a comic book something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good guy or a bad guy, but it sounds like
Sigma Scorpion, and it's just a rebadged Galant. Like that's all it was.
So
Just a mid-sized
like
sedan.
like a Scorpion, like wasn't like the performance package or anything. Or?
No, it was the same as the. There was an equivalent. It was the Mitsubishi Galant Lambda. So like a certain package of the Galant, but that it's not like super sporty or it's just
the Galant Half-Life 2 edition or
exactly, something like
Half-Life
that.
edition.
The
Lambda
Sigma
Complex.
Scorpion.
Sigma Scorpion.
Doesn't seem like too much of a mouthful.
But I'm just picturing that okay, all black car, just the Sigma Scorpion on the back.
Has someone? Could I be way off base here? Has someone just named a car a Scorpion? Like why isn't it?
Absurd.
There was the Scorpio, Merkur Scorpio. We had one.
Oh
That's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's got to have a Scorpion.
Someone's
out there
got it. If
somewhere.
not, someone should have a Scorpion.
By now.
You would think. Unless you don't want to name it after a venomous animal that's potentially fatal.
No, they'll just name cars the Venom
Well, we
or
got,
the
we got
Viper.
Venom, Viper.
That's true.
Cobra,
True. Yeah. So why not a
Yeah.
Scorpion?
rattlesnake, coral snake.
We got a Stinger.
Lionfish.
Stingray.
Lionfish.
What?
That's a boat name. That's not a car name.
Thank you, Tristan.
Yeah, I really think that one. There's something about a way it hits my ear, even with Mitsubishi attached to the front. Mitsubishi Sigma Scorpion. Something about those consonants together. It's quite pleasing.
That's why, even though hard to say, that's why I like the Rolls-Royce Wraith.
And he said it right.
Nailed it.
He nailed it.
He's been practicing. It shows.
That's okay. Sigma Scorpion. It's not. I don't know why. I guess why the Sigma's in there. Like
It sounds cool.
either the Sigma or the Scorpion.
Well,
Why
the Sigma
both?
was obviously the name of the car. The brand of the car would have been Mitsubishi Sigma. The Scorpion was a package on top of the Sigma.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I asked. Is that like some kind of add-on performance? And you said no.
No, it's just a version. Like instead of LX, RX, PX, whatever
SE.
it is. Yeah, it was just the
Scorpion. Got it. Does anybody have any honorable mentions we want to get to?
I've got a ton,
I have.
but they're just like rattle them off and laugh
We
at
can
them.
just
yeah, yeah, Do that.
All right. So mine are almost all foreign ones.
Are these all bads or goods?
They're funny.
A combo.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Kia Proceed GT. But the best
one
part
is
is there
funny.
is an underscore and an apostrophe in that name.
Indeed. What are they doing?
The Honda That's. THAT apostrophe S. That's it. No, actually, just That's.
What is it?
I didn't even look it up. Doesn't matter.
That's funny.
The Peugeot Bipper TP Outdoor.
That sounds dirty.
One that almost made my list. The Ford Ka.
Ka.
No. If you look at the documentation, Ford leadership says
The KA.
the KA as is pronounced with the first two letters of the word cat.
Oh my god.
So it is the Ford Ka.
That's so much worse.
I know.
Just let it be the Ka.
That's why it right. Ka is like snake in a bunch of languages and like that's cool, but it's the Ka. So that's
Ka.
or if it had been that. Oh god,
guy from Boston?
If it had been that, it would have just been a car everywhere
Ka.
else. Yeah.
It's a car in New England.
The Honda Life Dunk.
What is that?
I didn't look any of these up. I just saw names.
Life Dunk. Yikes.
The Suzuki Every Joy Pop Turbo.
Okay, most of these cars are from Japan. I can tell.
Yep, they are.
These are the direct translations too, like Dodge Bar is an adult toy.
But here's the thing though. For their cars in Japan, they will use some sort of English equivalent to name their cars. Like that's not the translated version, that's the name of the car.
That's on the back of the car.
Yeah.
But the ideas don't necessarily transfer.
Yeah, I think that's
because
probably
here's
what it is.
another one. The Mazda Carol Milady.
Okay, these are fake now.
No,
You're making
I've
these
looked
up.
at these all up. They're all real. The Mazda Carol is a car.
Milady.
Kind of, because the Carol is a model, and then the Milady is a trim level.
Actually ingenious.
That's pretty good.
That's ingenious.
The Daihatsu Naked Summary.
All right. I don't believe this anymore.
I'm done.
This is fake news.
The Subaru Touring Bruce.
Oh God.
Which
Australia?
No, actually Japan. It was a legacy body. It was a legacy GT. It was actually the Subaru Legacy Touring Bruce.
God.
Because it was the touring edition, and it was the one that was endorsed by Bruce Willis.
What?
Not even lying.
Wow.
He was in a bunch of commercials for him. I'm sure didn't speak a lick of Japanese,
That's not the Bruce I expected.
right?
I didn't know what Bruce to think of, but not him.
And then
No.
the
in Japan.
and then
in the years of the legacy was, but no.
and then the Great Wall Cool Bear.
Always end on a bear.
Yep. Great Wall
crazy.
Cool Bear.
Oh boy.
You got a couple? I got a couple.
I got a couple. Let's see here. I had the Mitsubishi Grunder.
Oh my.
Bad.
That's one letter away.
Yeah. The Hyundai Asian.
Straightforward.
All right. Here's one that I actually did like. Mitsubishi was a goldmine for me. The Mitsubishi Debonair.
Oh, yikes.
Ooh, that's classic.
So fancy.
How about the Toyota Rumi? Would you like one of those?
You could go
Rumi?
in
No thanks.
my Bipper TP Outdoor.
It's a Rumi. Fine. If you don't like the Rumi, how about the Toyota Space Cruiser? Would you like one of those?
I want one of those right now. Thank you.
That's for the new Space Force that Trump is getting together.
Definitely.
Right? Yeah.
How about the Ganja Auto Plant Gazelle? Would you care for a
Did
Ganja?
you just hit like the center autocorrect button over and over again?
That was a Brazilian car. That one's legit. Another one that I think is just fabulous. How about a Ford Pampa?
Pampa?
Pampa.
P-A-M-P-A?
P-A-M? P-A.
Or is it the Pampa?
I don't know if the A's are that flat, but it could be.
Because like the cat,
Yeah, exactly.
the Ford Pampa.
And the last one that struck me is very weird. The Plymouth Cranbrook.
You could go there in your country squire.
To the Cranbrook?
See, that's what
Yeah.
it felt like. It felt like someone in a boardroom was like, "We need this car to have an aspirational name, damn it!" and just walked out. And they like looked outside, or someone's drinking cranberry juice, and they're like,
Cran and look outside. Brook. Cranbrook.
"Magnificent!" It just sounded.
I also forgot. I don't want to take this off your list either. I did not write it down. I saw it on the way here. The Dodge Swinger. Forgot about that one.
saw one on the way down.
No, I looked it up on the way here. I was still looking while I was waiting at Taco Bell
Oh, right.
for fun stuff.
All right, Nick, what you got?
So I've got a couple of ones that we can all agree are pretty crappy, just low hanging fruits. Ferrari LaFerrari.
I actually think that's great.
The Ferrari.
Genuinely, I think
It's like the Hyundai Asian. It's very straightforward.
true, but
The car is amazing. The name is stupid.
But what you have to think of, you got to get yourself in the mindset of someone who works at Ferrari and only ever thinks of Ferrari as the best thing in the entire world. So what would you name the only possible best car from the only possible best car company to ever exist.
Well, I'm sure they wanted to name it Enzo, and they're like, well, shit, we already used that.
That's also a possibility. But I like to think if it's someone's like, it has to be the Ferrari, and they're like, well, the company told us, like, no, it has to be the Ferrari. It's the best car ever made. And it just had to.
No, I don't like that.
It gets
at all.
recursive after a while.
the Ferrari. Another one from Italy, the Maserati Quattroporte.
4 doors.
It's a 4-door sedan, and it has 4 doors. So that's what, the Maserati 4-door.
A Honda Civic's car for everyone. I think they're the same.
No, not at all. But here's one that I was hoping you guys, as you started naming off all these weird ones that you wouldn't say, because I really wanted to get this one out there. You're talking about a deep cut.
Yeah.
The Geely Beauty Leopard.
Ooh.
Beauty leopard. My.
Real thing. Look that one up.
So it was like, is it a beautiful leopard or a leopard made beautiful? Perhaps a makeup?
Is it the same thing?
It's a leopard that makes you
No.
beautiful.
Sometimes you see a leopard and you're like, oh, well, that's a good looking leopard.
Do you?
When was the last time you were at a zoo or on a
Can't say as I ever have, but
in
you
the
know.
Amazon?
You're telling me you've never seen an ugly leopard? Is that what I'm to understand?
Yeah.
They're kind of all the same.
They're cats, big ones, but they're cats.
I have no idea how they got to the beauty leopard.
Yeah.
Geely Beauty Leopard.
I love it.
Awesome.
What else you got? Is that it?
That's it. I had a couple.
I
That's
have one more.
Oh, boy.
That I also forgot to write down. This one I did find a couple days ago. The Quattroporte reminded me of it. The Alfa Romeo Disco Volante,
Oh, I love that one.
which sounds great.
Yes.
And also literally means flying saucer in
It does.
Italian.
It does mean that.
Yep.
I love that.
So
name.
are you throwing that out there as a good one or as a bad one?
Yes.
It can be both.
Yeah. No. I
think
think
it's a good
I
one.
think it sounds great,
Oh, yeah.
but I don't know how I feel about naming your car the Flying Saucer, other than if it took place kind of during that time period where UFOs were a big deal. It's like, oh, check this out, kind of like the Toyota Space Cruiser.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, who knows?
A cargo van.
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
For sure.
So
So
That
if
was
we
fun.
determined like what we think makes a good name,
We said that birds are good, which is roughly true, but between the cars we named,
I think we're all coming from different places
there are
here.
no similarities. It's not that we're even coming from different places, just that it almost seems to me that sometimes words really go well together. Like the Sigma Scorpion
Yes.
sounds fabulous. Disco Volante sounds great.
and
sounds terrible.
sometimes single words are fun to say or envision. Like for me, Wraith. Like you kind of with Rolls Royce, you kind of envision the silent luxuries that kind of like creeping up. You know, the Wraith. Like I kind of imagine the commercial if ever Rolls Royce were to do a commercial, which I know they don't.
Right.
But like there's like this like silent, dark manor house crash of lightning, and there's suddenly a wraith in front of it. Like cool, right? Like, and I think it fits.
Not for the person standing there.
Who's standing there?
Well,
Yeah.
you said if you're in this dark manor house, lightning crashes and a wraith is there. That's pretty cool. Not if you're there.
like from the outside.
Yeah.
Like you're looking at the front of the house.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the word wraith is neat. You know, and there are some things that are objectively bad, like gremlins. Very
Yep.
very
Very
straightforward.
bad.
And there are
yeah.
things that just don't make sense for cars.
Lettuce.
Lettuce, for example.
Asian.
Asian
Don't do that, Hyundai.
Azerbaijani woman.
That's absurd. It's so absurd. I have trouble believing that that's how they named it.
That can't have been what happened on purpose.
I can't have been intentional.
I can't have been.
It can't have been
So
intentional.
I think as unlike what we did last week, where it's a lot of like quantifiable, measurable features and qualities, for words, it's going to be...
It's very subjective.
It's an aesthetic thing,
Yeah.
and it's going to be personal.
I think I'm just so caught up in like my daily life at my job that like I'm approaching naming from a very logical,
Practical?
practical and logical. Like, what are you trying to accomplish?
Pragmatic.
How can you sum that up in a word or two? Like that's my approach to what makes a decent name, and it's probably just company brainwash.
If we were to look at it, he's probably right.
Yeah, but at the same time,
You know, if you were to boil it down to some factual thing.
But he also hated Quattroporte.
But is that what you're really trying to accomplish? Like,
Yes, they wanted you to know that this Maserati has 4 doors.
Because a lot of them don't.
Exactly.
so
Which
they
one are
couldn't-
you getting?
But
The one with 4 doors. The Quattroporte.
but you couldn't tell that by looking at it and
Not if you're
seeing-
telling someone.
Yeah.
Which
How
one?
else would
Which
they
one are
know?
you getting? I'm getting the Gran Turismo blah 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 blah. Which one is that? Oh, it's the one with 4 doors.
There you go. So
Done.
you just told them.
No one has any question if you get the Quattroporte.
Yeah. Which one are you getting?
Never-
Oh, the Quattroporte. Oh, yeah. There is none of that conversation.
Exactly.
Too literal. Too literal. There's that fine line you got to walk.
All right, man.
So what's is that? Are we? Anybody else have anything to add? We don't really agree on much as far as what makes a good name.
To me, it just has to hit my ear right. I'm fully in the
So
creative area. I just
Sure.
want it to sound good.
So maybe not as a group, but I think I can boil us down pretty well.
Okay.
I feel like it's a sound thing.
Purely.
For you, it's more from a pragmatic advertising. Does it describe the product, but not too literally?
You got to sum it up in something that's catchy, also.
For me, it's does it evoke an image?
Does it evoke an image? That's definitely.
Yeah. Which sometimes they're wrong, like the Aspire. I come back to that one. Maybe
That one's a classic.
but or the lettuce. It actually just evokes another thing.
I love that so
Yeah.
much. I love it so much for a car.
But I think at least we figured out what it means to us, which leads me to a question. Dear listeners, let us know your favorite and least favorite car names
And tell us why.
and see if you have a pattern.
Yeah.
See if
what-
it means anything to you.
There you go. That's awesome. And you can reach out to us. We said checkenginepodcast.com, inbox at checkenginepodcast.com. We've also got the social pages. We're on Facebook at Check Engine Podcast. Andrew, we have Twitter.
Yep.
You're patrolling the Twitterverse for us. Where can they find us?
Always at Check Engine Pod.
And the Instagram, Check Engine Pod.
So hit us up there. Send us pictures on Instagram of your favorite cars. Tell them why you like that name.
We have tons of Instagram fodder, Andrew. You got work to do.
Yes, now we have a lot.
Show me the lettuce.
I will.
Can I put that on a t-shirt too?
That'd be great. If we ever,
And
if we ever get a line of
put an
merchandise, that's
outline
gotta be
of on
one.
the back.
That would be fabulous.
If we ever get a line of merchandise, that's going to have to be one of them.
Absolutely.
So before we take off, you want to get some thank yous out of the way?
Yeah, I mean, I just need to thank GM for finally having the balls to do something interesting throughout their entire history and putting out, well, I'm just going to be hopeful here. Putting out the next generation of sports cars before anyone else does it and claiming the everyman's mid-engine sports car for themselves.
I agree. I would like to thank the English language for being so universally enforced upon the rest of the world that they feel they need to name their cars with it, which results in amazing, amazing car names
So true.
like the lettuce.
It's great.
I would like to thank marketing departments at.
It's a bit self-serving, isn't it?
No, I would like to thank the marketing departments at all these car manufacturers for coming up with all these wild ideas that, if nothing else, gave us a really good laugh.
Yes.
Yeah, they try some stuff.
They entertain us, if nothing else. So thank you to all of you men and women in these marketing departments coming up with these names. And as always, thank you to the listeners for tuning in. Even if we suck, you guys are always awesome. So please, we ask you to keep tuning in. Get back to us on socials, at our website, through our email. If you're really into what we're doing here, we do have some ways you can support us. Anchor.fm has a support button, or you can do support at anchor.fm. We also have a Patreon page, patreon.com/checkenginepodcast. Another way you can support us if you don't want to give us any of your money is reviews. Reviews are huge. Recommendations are huge.
So huge.
It actually fits into the whatever search algorithms that all these websites and their charts have. Like the positive reviews hold a lot more weight in that algorithm. So that literally is what makes podcasts tick and what makes them more popular. So if you like what we're doing, let everybody else know that you like what we're doing. We would really appreciate that. With that, we're going to sign off for this episode. We cannot wait to talk to you again. Everybody take care.
Bye.